Okay, most of you guys know me as a safety guy, but I do a lot of other things. I'm an avid fisherman. Uh, like to watercolor paint, do things. I got a shop. I like to do landscaping. I like to work in the yard and all kinds of things. Cook, cook. Of course, you could tell by looking at me that I do like to cook. Uh, and then I've got some other. I don't know if you call them talents, but people say to me a lot of times that they like to hear, some of the stories and some of the things I've experienced. Uh, One of the things I like to talk about is the trout fishing bear. Uh, there's a stream in North Georgia that I frequent pretty regular, and it's a good distance up a dirt road, uh, and it was in the fall time around Thanksgiving. I was going through some things in my life, and I decided just to go fishing. And I went fishing. Well, as I approached the stream, I get there early, first light, before first light, and it's foggy. And I'm driving the road, and I'm going real slow, and I've got my head hanging out the window, and I'm following the roadway there, trying to make sure. And I got to where I fish at. I got rigged up and walked down the stream and started fishing. And I could see these trout. They were sometimes they'll tail on top of the water. You can see their fins on top of the water, and I could see that. So I'm casting upstream and floating my bait down the stream. Okay, I've got an idea of what I want to do. I see those fish. I want them. Okay, and I can't get my drift right. You guys know about trout fishing. You want to drift into their lane with their bait from upstream and drift it downstream into their feeding lane, where they sit there and look upstream and wait for stuff to come down and they feed. And it'd been a while since I'd been on that stream, and I kept looking to my right as I was working my way upstream, and I saw something there in the dirt on the bank. And a lot of storms, a lot of rain. Could have been I thought it was just a blowover or a stump that washed up on the side of the bank. And I keep getting closer and closer to it, and I'm concentrating on the fish. And I don't know, 10 feet from it, and I look down and I look down into the eyes of a black bear. And I don't know if you guys ever watch these science fiction movies like Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever, where they kick into hyperdrive and all the stars fly past them in a blur. Well, at that point, there was nothing but a green blur of trees as I was making my way away from that thing. And it was getting me on my back. It was scratching. I could feel it on my back. And 210 feet away, which is the exact amount of line that an ultralight reel holds, I was snatched out of warp speed. And as I was running, I could hear a little girl screaming. And as I came out of the Doppler effect of traveling at light speed, I realized it was me that was screaming. I got to the bank up on the road there, and I had run out of one of the soles on my boot. The felt soles, or snap on, it had come off. And I sat down. Well, actually, I had to lay down because I was so exhausted, and contemplated the whole idea. Well, the bear didn't get me. That's good in some people's opinion. So I was reeling up my line. I found my sole, and I got down there to where I ran into that bear. And on the bank of the river, there was scratch-off marks going the other way. That bear had kicked off so hard he was spattering my back with them stones as he ran away. So I guess we scared each other equally. A thought occurs to me from time to time. Do you reckon that bear ever sits around and talks to his bear buddies, talking about how he ran into a trout fishing man? Something to think about.